Righty. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Metro East Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Greetings to those who may be watching online. Um, this is a welcoming religious community, and we are very, very, very glad you're here today. My name is Robin Berkeley. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the past president of the congregation, and I have been a member of the church since January 2010. The MEUUC is a small congregation located here in Glen Carbon, Illinois, and spiritually led by the Reverend Dr. Claudia Hall. We gratefully share a sacred space with the Edwardsville Masonic Lodge. In the pulpit today is Dr. Marlene Bricker. She is the president of Rainbow Our Visions and the former spiritual leader at Unity in Collinsville. I'm looking forward to her message today. Our mission drives us to live our values. We are outward reaching, inward seeking. We are creating and nurturing an intentional community that values acceptance, social justice, and the embodiment of our UU principles. Come, let us question together, because that's our job, is to question everything. It's not a UU church if there aren't questions, right? I'm so glad that you are here, whether you're in the sanctuary or online. We welcome everyone to this home of comfort, spirit, justice, and hope. We are Unitarian Universalists. Please take a moment before the service begins to greet someone you have not yet met. I know we have a new guest here, so everybody just say hi to each other and say hello. Couple of guests, absolutely. You're good, you have everything you need? Okay, good, I'm just gonna leave this here. So, we're good. You wanna do it? Yeah, fine, okay. Perfect, I meant to ask somebody to do it and I totally did. That's good, all right, we're good. All right, let's all, if somebody is online or will be watching the future, let's all say hello to our online folks. Hi, woo, all right. So we're going to open our service with a prelude by our accompanist, Joy. And this is also a prelude to one of the songs we're going to be singing. An important ritual in the Unitarian Universalist faith is the lighting of our chalice. Unitarian Universalists have many different interpretations of the flaming chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. If you're watching elsewhere and have a candle or a chalice, please light it while we all join in saying the unison words projected on the screen, and I welcome Jennifer to light the chalice.
Hallow this time together by kindling the lamp of our heritage.
It's right up there.
Our opening prayer is by Esther Hurlbird on Worship Web. It is not always easy to find love at the center. It is not always easy to find love at the center. There is not a set of easy instructions numbered 1 through 7, or maybe 8. It is not always easy to find love at the center. Today in Covenant, we celebrate our living tradition. which invites us to take deep breaths of fresh air into the newness of every day. So our minds, hearts, and spirits will be continually nourished. It is not always easy to find love in the center. So for today, we gather in covenant to celebrate the reality that love is at the core of our beings, and that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges which love requires of us all. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace. Amen.
I think you've got the rest of my.
I'm sorry.
Hey, you're fine, no worries. We're juggling multiple papers here. Okay, so please rise in body or spirit for our first hymn, which is number 1053 in the Teal hymnal, How Could Anyone? Please be seated. I will credit Joy for finding that song that I know you wanted. In the book, I know, exactly. So we were talking about the song as we were getting prepared, and I couldn't remember the name of it, so Joy figured it out. So yay. 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 So today, this beautiful message and the workshop afterwards really aligns with these three major values for us. Obviously, love at the center, right? I mean, we've talked about this so many times, but principally about the inherent worth and dignity of everybody and being gentle and loving ourselves first and foremost before we can bring anything to anybody else. And that enables us to transform ourselves and others to goodness, whatever that may be. So I'm really very excited to hear about today's messages. So keep those principles in your mind as we move forward. And I know that, that Marlene will have many, many beautiful things to say about that in a few moments. So before we begin our joys and sorrows ritual, I'd like to take a moment to note the passing of Sherry Rondi, who recently passed away. She's been a longtime member of the UU Church in Orlando and has been coming here for the last year. So keep her family in your thoughts and prayers. With the loss of her. We knew when she came here that she was terminally ill, but nice that she was able to spend some time with us. So as part of our weekly worship service, we take time for the expression of joys, concerns, and sorrows. And here in our new home, it's a place where we can share the things that weigh us down and that fill us with joy, and where those we love surround us in good times and in turmoil. If you'd like to recognize a joy, sorrow, or milestone, you can come forward, place a stone or several stones in the water bowl to represent your joys and sorrows. There are stones here in the front. You may begin from passing from my left to the right. Somehow I can direct that. Choose how many stones you need. There have been days I've thrown in handfuls, but placing it in the water is a symbol of what you carry in your heart. Let us be in a spirit of prayer and meditation. This is for LA and those who are suffering. This is for the world. Amen. Marlene, it's up to you now. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now we're ready. The children come up here, don't they?
No, they can stay at their seats. It's-
Okay,
Yeah, sometimes we do that.
the story for all ages, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So, and is it gonna be up on there?
Yeah, it'll be up on the screen over there, but why don't you tell the story about why you cared about the butterfly?
Okay, so actually, I wrote a little book about the butterfly story years ago, and it talked about this caterpillar, all, furry, just crawling on the ground. I assumed they were lazy, but they probably weren't, not that I look back on it. But it told the whole story, and the butterfly came to the caterpillar and said, you know what, you can be me too. And the caterpillar said, never, I could never be beautiful and fly and do what you do. The butterfly said, yes, you can. So it just goes through the whole story of how the butterfly was in its cocoon and how frightened it was, how frightened the caterpillar was, because maybe it was claustrophobic or whatever, but it was really frightened. And then one day it became free, and it literally shocked itself. And I like to compare that to us, because if you ever think that you're a caterpillar, just know there's a butterfly in all of us. So now we have our story.
The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. That night he had a stomach ache. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that, he felt much better. Now he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big, fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. He nibbled a hole in the cocoon, pushed his way out, and he was a beautiful butterfly. The end.
And now I believe we have another hymn. There is love. There is a love. Okay. Now we have a story, or actually, it's a reading. Our reading is from the worship web for the UUA, The Journey to Self-Love by Ndidi, is that correct? Ndidi Achebe or Achebe. October 28th, 2020. I found God in myself, and I loved her. I loved her fiercely. Natsaki, is it Shenge? Okay. And you want me to read this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read it. I grew up in a working class neighborhood where everyone looked like me. At the same time, I struggled with isolation, fear, and deep sadness. All too often, adults told me to cheer up, that things would get better, or that I was too young to not be happy. None of those words made me feel any better. My feelings just came back the next day. During my childhood and teenage years, my mom was frequently hospitalized because, according to my father, Mommy is sick and needs to rest. Once, when I was about 6 years old, I told him that I wanted to go and visit her. So we did. The hospital room was large and padded and gray. I was sent in alone. I found Mom sitting in a corner with ashen legs and arms, unkempt hair, speaking in unintelligible words and phrases. Looking back, I have no idea why it was okay for a kid that young to be allowed to see any patient on a psychiatric floor, let alone by themselves. It was traumatic, something that I will never forget. Only when I was a teenager did I learn that my mom had the diagnosis of bipolar. When I was diagnosed with bipolar in my 20s, bipolar 2, I was petrified, afraid that I would end up on the psych ward in a hospital, just like my mom, or even worse, locked up in a mental institution for the rest of my life. I believed that I was not a normal human being. Now that I've been diagnosed with bipolar 2 for over 35 years, and even though I've been hospitalized twice, the fear of being locked up in a mental institution for the rest of my life is no longer present in my life. I cannot tell you exactly when the fear went away, but learning to accept my diagnosis helped. I can remember my mom getting up early, getting dressed, and heading to the community center to swim, which taught me that even when you have a mental health diagnosis, you can still participate in just about anything that you want to do. I also learned about courage by witnessing famous people talk about their mental health diagnoses openly and without shame, and learning to love myself spiritually, physically, and emotionally. With the help of my Black kinfolk, gave me permission to be my unapologetically Black self without reservation. Learning to love all of me, including the parts I used to be scared of, made the fear go away. As we continue on our life journeys, may we learn to love ourselves deeply, accept without fear or inhibitions. So now I would like to prepare us for our talk this morning. And I would like to just start with a very short meditation. So just simply take a deep breath, close your eyes or don't close your eyes, cross your legs, uncross them, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable. And as you breathe in, take a moment to breathe in all the love and all the joy and all the peace that is in this universe, that is within you, that resides in each of us. And feel your heart opening so wide that it can accept the message of love, and that you can hold so much love that you freely can give it away when you leave here today and tomorrow and the next day to every other person you encounter. So take a moment just to feel the warmth of love, just passing over, in and around and through all of you. And there is so much of it that it is surrounding each of us in this room, and enough to share with the world. And now just take a breath to kind of bring you back to where we are in this room. Wiggle your hands and your feet. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes and focus on something you did not notice before. Good morning. So, I love this topic. I love myself the way I am, and I hope you will join us in this workshop, because I promise you, you will leave happier. And I want to start out with your first principle, UUA's first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. How many of you believe that? Let me see the hands. And now the question is, how many of you believe and know that for you? Because we are one of those. And we deserve the dignity and love that we feel for others. So I started with looking up some things from some reverends from UUA. And my first little reading is Radical Self-Acceptance by Reverend Anna Levy Lyons. She discusses the concept of radical self-acceptance, which involves embracing our inherent essence and acknowledging who we are, what we are, is acceptable. She states, each one of us doing our best is enough. And in our tradition, we're not just acceptable, we're not just enough. We are beloved. Then the journey to self-love, FUUB. Does anybody know what that is? Person, place, thing, all of it? The journey of self-love, to self-love. In a reflection, here we go, from the Unitarian Universalist Association's Braver, Wiser series, there's a prayer that encourages individuals to learn to love ourselves deeply, accept ourselves as holy, and celebrate ourselves completely without fear or inhibitions. Weekly messages of courage and compassion. And Vinny just reminded me of something funny remember like when our kids were that age and we would say, act your age, and now I say to parents, they are, right? It's exactly what he's doing. And then from the Unitarian Universalist Association, Filling Your Own Cup of Love. A sermon from the Westside Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Seattle emphasizes the importance of self-love as a spiritual practice. It challenges the tendency to seek external validation and encourages individuals to cultivate lives of radical self-acceptance, making self-love a spiritual practice and a daily exercise. And then here's my little writing, which won't compare, but it's from my heart. So, I love myself the way I am. What does that mean? How many times have you heard, you just need to love yourself the way you are? I don't even know what that means. So I should love myself when I look in the mirror or really goof in business? I should love it when I make the same mistake over and over? I should love struggling? I don't think so. That is the talk that used to go on consistently in my mind until one day it stopped. That was the day I got it. Okay, I got it and lost it and got it, and sometimes I still lose it. But now I just lose it for a little while. First of all, what does love mean? I changed the meaning in my head. To me, it means L, live, O, openly, V, value, E, everything. So live openly, value everything. That would be my definition of love. If I look at love like that, I can love myself exactly as I am, right here and now. And then I looked at something else. If the universe made me, and of course you, then we are part of that universe, part of that all. So how could I not love me if I am part of the universe? That changed my outlook. I love myself the way I am because I am of that which created life. It is universal breath that moves through me. It is the universal voice that speaks through me. It is universal life that moves through me. That is powerful. And what is really cool is that when I began to love myself exactly as I am, I loved all of you too. And so it is. You know, that's a hard concept, I think, for most of us to get, because this is kind of a funny story. I used to be a Weight Watcher leader for like 10 years, and they always did a meeting on body image. So one of the questions I ask, I'm curious to see what happens, is how many of you love your body? How many of you? I want to see the hands. Okay, you're just like they are. And I went, okay, guys, I want you to listen to something. And if you don't change your mind, you can leave right now. How did you get into this room? How many of you love your legs? Did they not bring you here today? How many of you breathe? Right? And most of us, without additional oxygen, we can just breathe. How grateful. Don't we just love our lungs? And our nose. How do you like it when you have a cold and you can't breathe? And you wake up one morning and you go, oh my God, I can breathe. I'm so happy. I get so nervous when I get a cold. I need a Valium. It's the most horrible feeling to not be able to breathe and be all stuck. Or our arms, look what we can do with them. And then we think about this magnificent body that's breathing, and the heart is beating, and the lungs are lunging, and the liver is livering, and it's doing all this stuff. And we don't even have to give it an instruction. Now I have a question for you. How many of you love your body? I want to see every hand up there. So when we really break it down, what we might say is, I don't love my image. Maybe I don't love the image that I'm looking at in the mirror right now. I mean, I think I liked my image better when I was 20, but I know a lot more right now. So I think I like my brain better now than I did at 20, because thank goodness it's expanded. Or I mean, I don't know if it's expanded, maybe I'm just using more cells, right? So whatever it is, learning to love ourselves the way we are. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the 12-step program, but for me, it has been one of the greatest things in my life, because I think the 12 steps could pretty much apply. I mean, if they could take the place of commandments, because they're just a wonderful way to live. And I think one of the most important parts of that is acceptance. Because until we learn, and that's the serenity prayer. So, can I say God here? If I can't, if you don't like the word God, do it backwards. It spells dog. So you can do it either way you want. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So for some of you who know me, we lost our son. It'll be 8 months, the 23rd. And yeah, it wasn't. And this woman, she knows she played a very important part at a very, very tough time. Not that it still isn't, but you know what I realized? As I was going through this grief, which I will go through for the rest of my life, because it's like losing a limb when you lose a child or a piece of you. But what I had recognized is my screams to God were, I want my son back. And I think it was maybe a few days ago, I realized wow, you are missing the peace, the acceptance. That is not going to happen. I can scream, I can stomp, I can throw a temper tantrum, which probably Vinny does occasionally. And I could do all of those things, and that will not bring my son back. And I went, my gosh, I have been in a 12-step program for so many years, and I wasn't even looking at the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change what I can, which is my attitude, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that makes all the difference in the world, because we need to learn to love ourselves at any age, wherever we are in our lives, wherever we are living, whether it's a huge mansion or one room. We can make it beautiful. We can make it ours. I love listening to some people. I really don't love listening to some people, because so many people that I know, they will come up and they will say, oh, it's hell getting old, don't you think? And I went, no, I think it's great, because look at your other option, would be to leave young, and not get the opportunity to do perhaps some of the things that we get to do, even experiencing great loss. Because everything that I'm reading, and I've read a lot, tells me that going through grief is one of the most spiritual experiences that people will ever go through. Oh, and I guess the bad news is that everyone goes through it. So I don't know if it's really good news or bad news. It's just what we call life. And learning to love ourselves and to accept ourselves is one of the most important things ever. Because, like, how many of you have ever met judgmental people? They ever? Oh, we're at a restaurant. Ooh, this fork is dirty. Oh, the waitress isn't sweet. Oh, the chicken isn't crispy enough. Well, let's go to this restaurant. Oh, I don't like that one. The tables aren't comfortable. Or, oh, here's my favorite. This is January, right? We have snow on the ground. It's cold. Oh, can you believe this weather? And I go, well, yeah, because it's winter. Now, these very same people, we were talking about a person that I happen to know, in the summer will say the same thing. Can you believe it's so hot? And I go, well, yes, because it's summer. I mean, right? I mean, this is life. And in the spring and fall, we get some perfect days because it's fall and spring. So who we are, how we accept ourselves, what we do, it all starts here. Loving ourselves, it comes from changing that which you can, and the wisdom to know what you can't change. I mean, if you're too tall, I guess you could be shorter if you want to cut off your legs, I mean, I guess I could be taller if I wanted to walk on stilts, but we just kind of are the way we are. And accepting it is a beautiful thing. So one of the things that I love to do, and I guess I want to call it my language, it's poetry. And I've been writing it since I've been a kid. Actually, I used a poem that I wrote when I was 12 at the Edwardsville Library. I did a Hanukkah presentation for a unity group that just does stuff around the community. It's a really cool group. You might have heard of them. And they do yes, they were wonderful, and it was the most fun evening. But anyway, so I love to write poetry. So I am going to end this with the poem I wrote to end this topic. I love myself the way I am. I love myself the way I am, every little part. My eyes that see, my ears that hear, each beat of my heart. I love my age and my brain, my liver and my hand, all of my compassion that helps me understand the world in which I live, all that I do and give. I love myself, each part of me, everything I do. Guess what? I just do not love me. I now also love you. There used to be a time when I looked in the mirror at my face, thinking about all that was wrong with me. It was a disgrace. I picked on myself incessantly. I wished that I could change. I did not know how or where, how I could rearrange myself. I really did not know how, so I surrendered myself to my Creator. All I can say is, wow, who knew? It was so easy to just give it up. I walked away with my cup running over with everything good as it should do, as it should be. When I realized that this life was not mine, in essence, all of it belongs to the divine. All that I thought that I was changed simply because I realized I am made of universal dust. Go ahead, chuckle if you must. But it changed my life. It surely did. I was able to rid myself of the negative talk. Now when I take myself for a walk, I say, thank you, universe, for this day. Thank you for creating all life, all people, and me. Thank you for opening my eyes so I can see the beauty of you in the trees and the sun. Thank you. I now know the power of one. Thank you for filling me up with your spirit, for I could not love myself until I could hear it. I love myself the way I am, every little part, my eyes that see, my ears that hear, each beat of my heart. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're good there. Sorry, sorting through the papers. Yeah, exactly. The floor show is amazing. He is so adorable. He is so adorable. He really is. Okay, our final hymn is a song for those of you that came to the concert in September. Yay! We get to hear from Summer Osborne. One of my favorite songs, As I Am. And when I was this past summer, I went to see her. I was at the National Women's Music Festival, and Summer was in the finale, and people were just gobsmacked at her voice and her message. And she just stood up there and watched everybody shower her with so much love, and she gives so much love back. So without further ado, As I Am by Summer Osborne. Oh, and there's lyrics up there too, so you can sing along, please. There she is.
I am here, I am whole as I am. I am saved, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free, and I'm as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole as I am. Nothing can illuminate the darkness like a serenade. Nothing can make peace like a song. We've got a ways to go, but then we're closer than we've ever been. So let's walk together on and on. I am here, I am whole as I that we love. Then we'll take a photograph of everybody as they laugh. Put it in the book entitled Us. I am here, I am whole as I am. I am safe, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. Time as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole as I am. May seem just like a song, may seem just like a thought, but it soon will take hold, become a truth that's taught for generations, generations, generations. I am here, I am whole as I am. I am safe, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. Time as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole as I am. As I am. I am here, I am whole as I am.
Yay. I love
I
that
am
song.
safe, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. I'm so grateful. Time as perfect as can be. There is nothing wrong with me. I am here, I am whole as I am. Just as I am. I am here, I am whole as I am.
Yay. Sayer, I don't know if you remember the origin of that song. Do you remember what she said? It was something about when you speak positive words to something, like there's beautiful crystals that get created, and then if you talk negatively to it, they're really ugly, horrible, ugly looking, pokey crystal things. That's it, freezing water. Thank you, Jen. Yes, and that was how the language, the self-talk that we engage in is so important, that if we want to cultivate that love, we need to use that positive self-talk. So, I mean, she's amazing. I love her. Amy, can I ask you a favor to pass the offering basket? As Amy does that, I offer the gentle reminder, this community of faith, yay, is supported only by your giving. However, stewardship is more than just financial donations. It is also about donating time and talent to help the church. If you can't write a check, please help our church survive and thrive by offering your time to help make coffee and bring snacks, serve as an usher, serve on other committees such as helping with worship on occasion. Please donate as you can with your time, talent, and/or treasure. All are needed for our church to prosper. You can also mail your gift if you need to. You can use Givelify. We discourage you from using PayPal just because it takes forever for the money to come. But please feel free to use Givelify. Give what you, excuse me, I can't breathe, see, but I'm grateful to be great breathing. Give what you will and what you are able, for you are a generous people. Thank you. All right. Please join with me in the offering prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. Well, I know we probably have a ton of announcements. I know Mary, we have Lynn Murphy. Where did Mary go? There you go. Okay, so you're going to be the worship associate for Lynn next week. Lots of music, so we'll enjoy. And I guess that.
And the song the hymn that we learned this morning, we're going to be singing it next week.
Again, oh cool,
Again,
awesome.
And possibly around.
Oh, nice.
That's why I wanted you to learn it this week.
Oh, thank you very much. We got to practice, which was always a good thing for this group. So we have no breakdown today, but we will next week. Yay! Allison, you wanted to come up and talk about the overnight warming centers? Yeah, come on up. We've been working on that. I know they're gonna activate tonight and tomorrow as well. So please feel free to share what our experience has been. It's been really fun.
Yes, so the overnight warming locations are now open in Alton as of 5 years ago, I believe. This could be, I think it's its 6th year. This is Edwardsville's 2nd year, and Granite City just opened one this last week. The volunteers would have liked it if the mayor made up his mind earlier. So if you know anyone in and around Granite City, they really need volunteers. It takes 40 to 50 people a night to make these things work, because there are short shifts and the floor show, once again. So one of the things that's nice about signing up to volunteer in advance is you get to ask if you would like to serve with anyone in particular. So I'm thrilled that I'm on a team with Robin and Zuzu Casey and Sabrina Trupia. Yay! Yay. But one of the things that's been kind of lovely to watch is that the first few nights that I volunteered this year, so we're on team 3, and that means that every 3 activations, a team gets called. So you're not ever, when there's a cold spell, you're not called 3 nights in a row ever. So the first couple of nights that we were activated, my team was activated, we had 4 the first night, 4 guests the first night, we had 3 the next time. Last time when Rob and I were there, they ended up having 20 people. 22. They ran out of cots. But what was really kind of beautiful was at one point there were these kind of waves, that there'd be nobody in the kitchen and then there'd be everybody, and around 10 there was another wave of people. And people who didn't have a place to stay were texting people who did have a place to stay, and people were saying, come on in, we'll give up our cot for you. I don't care, I'll sleep on the floor. So just that, these are people that are not in the best place in their lives, and they still have that space in their heart to accommodate one another. It's just been kind of lovely to watch it happen, and just to hear people's stories. I met a young man who'd hiked the Appalachian Trail. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big accomplishment, right? Yeah. Started in April, ended up in October in Katahdin, Maine. So, and we've been to some of the same places, and it was just like, these are people who have stories, who have lives, and so anyways, it's been a pleasure serving. I encourage you, if you haven't signed up, there are lots of different ways you can get involved. And I'm happy when I go there and I see church people. Yay! I really am. So anyways,
and I love
that's
it.
my spiel about that.
Thank you. And you all know that food is my love language, of course. And so I actually started now, I'm preparing the food for when our team goes, and that has to be delivered at 6. If anybody wants to help with that, just let me know. I'm making burritos, I guess, for tomorrow night. So a bunch of, like layered burrito casserole, whatever, so whatever it is. But like needing food for 20 plus people, so needed to make a large volume of things. Anyway, they need things. Like when I got there, Sabrina was there, I was able to go in and I was able to bring the food, and then I'm like, well, I have to come back at 8, so I'm like, I'll just stay here and do whatever needs to be done, and I had to go get sugar, and then I had to run over to Walmart and get pants for somebody, and then, so there's always little things that are needed. They need errand runners, they need cots. We got them from American Red Cross, but that's a lend, that's not a permanent situation, so if we've got air mattresses, if you've got cots, I ran home and had to get a cot. I had an extra cot that I don't use anymore because I got a trailer now and I don't sleep on the ground. But anyway, I think that's just really important. So anything y'all can do is just grateful. Just sitting there playing cards. We played Quirkle. It's beyond rewarding. Yeah, that's true. We'll tone it down. All right, so what do we got here for community announcements? Anything fun and exciting? Oh, but doing that, yes, of course. All right, good. Church announcements now. So obviously Claudia's got her class, Bible for Liberal Religious People, the 21st and the 28th, Tuesdays. They're studying how the Bible was interpreted by Jews and Christians from just after the exile to the Enlightenment. And we have a new member class coming up on the 27th at 6:30. Peg, do you want to come up, talk about volunteering things?
You spoke and we listened. The mantra seemed to be, if I'm there, I'll do that. So we're in the, well, we should tag on Summers.
Yeah.
We are here.
We are here.
So-
If I'm here,
So,
I'm there.
so there's two little charts. I used this in preschool, and actually Vinny enjoyed playing with these too. But as you'll see, there's a line over here that says what needs to be done before church, and over here is what's done. Everything got done today because people took the clothespins and put them over here and said, I'll take on that job. And also, there's one that says, if I'm there, that's for after church. So I have here, not needed. We don't need to break down. But these are things that need to be done. So if you feel so compelled, grab one of these little things, move your little clothespin over here, and take it on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Made it very simple.
Thank you, Peg. Awesome. Anything else anybody wants to share? Kind of going on before we move on? Okay, good. All right, so we will extinguish our chalice, and I invite you to join me in reciting the prayer as I extinguish. The light of truth and meaning cannot be put out. We are keepers of this flame until we meet again. Our closing words today are from Carrie Holly Hurt, found also on Worship Web. It's a tremendous resource. And it's called Love Holds You. Love holds you. Love bears witness to all your inherent dignity and worthiness. It witnesses how you try, succeed, and fail, and it does not flinch. Love will not let go. Love holds all of you. Thank you. We'll now have our postlude from Joy. Ah, lovely. We'll probably sing anyway. Beautiful. All right, buckle up, folks. The inauguration's coming up. Hang in there. We got this. Remember, we're going to resist and we're going to disengage to make sure we keep our sanity stable. Love you all. Have a good one. And don't watch it. That's it. Just don't watch it. That's the passive resistance.